About the same time Miyazaki was opening the wrap party for Porco Rosso, Studio Ghibli's new home in the western suburbs of Tokyo was also completed. The buildings were set among trees and surrounded by nature, just the kind of environment Miyazaki likes. At Studio Ghibli, the women's washrooms are much nicer than the men's. We wondered why.
Miyazaki is a feminist, actually. He also has this conviction that to be successful, companies have to make it possible for their female employees to succeed too. You can see this attitude in Princess Mononoke. All the characters working the bellows in the ironworks are women. Then there's Porco Rosso. Porco's plane is rebuilt entirely by women.
Studio Ghibli's building is another Miyazaki creation. 4 years after Miyazaki established a policy of nurturing young talent, his strategy bore fruit. Ghibli's first animated television special created by the new generation of animators. The Ocean Waves traces the relationship of three friends from high school through college. It proved that the generation of animators first hired to work on Only Yesterday were coming of age. Ghibli had laid the foundation for future success. Their next hit was the story of what happens when a group of raccoons fight to keep their forest out of the hands of developers. Pom Poko was a bittersweet comedy that captivated audiences and, once again, topped the box office for Japanese films. Ghibli's next film introduced a new director, Yoshifumi Kondo. Kondo was a senior animator who had worked with Miyazaki and Takahata for years. In Whisper of the Heart, Kondo portrayed the struggles of a young girl in search of her true self and extended Ghibli's box office leadership among Japanese films for yet another year. In the autumn of 1995, following the release of Whisper of the Heart, Ghibli began work on a long-awaited new film directed by Miyazaki, Princess Mononoke. In the beginning, Miyazaki was working on two completely different stories, Princess Mononoke and Boro the Caterpillar. Boro the Caterpillar tells the story of big adventures in the tiny world of an insect as he makes an epic journey from his home in a tree to the next tree along the street. Miyazaki told Suzuki, "I want to show that even a tiny caterpillar has its own complete world, its own life." Miyazaki couldn't decide which story to do first, Princess Mononoke or Boro. He was so torn between the two stories, he told Suzuki he was going to make them both. As producer, Suzuki took a long, objective look at Miyazaki's and Studio Ghibli's capabilities and the current environment for film production. Then he gave Miyazaki his recommendation.
I convinced him to concentrate on Princess Mononoke. It's an action film, right? Once you're past a certain age, it's hard to do action stories. Miyazaki was about 54 then. I thought this might be his last chance to do a story like Mononoke. If he did Boro first, he might never make Mononoke, so the timing seemed right. There was another reason. The young animators who joined us to work on Only Yesterday were approaching 30 and in their prime. It seemed to me Princess Mononoke would be the best vehicle to showcase their abilities. Then there was financing. Action stories take a lot of money to produce and promote. The timing seemed right for that too, because Ghibli was in a good position to get financing.
The stage was set. The actors were ready. And 2 years later, Princess Mononoke was born and changed the world of animation forever.
As I mentioned, parts of this program first aired on Japanese television in 1998, so it doesn't cover Ghibli's films after Princess Mononoke. Ghibli released My Neighbors the Yamadas in 1999, Spirited Away in 2001, And The Cat Returns and The Ghibli's Episode 2 in 2002. In 2001, the Ghibli Museum opened in Tokyo. And in 2004, Miyazaki plans to release his next film, Howl's Moving Castle. Before we say goodbye, I wonder if you've seen the character named Nonaka in Ghibli's. I'm actually the model for this character. I personally don't see the resemblance, but maybe you do. Thanks for watching.